it's Jennifer. I am back with another occupational therapy idea to help with the fine motor skills and strength. Today I thought we'd talk about hand strengthening and how to get some of the good muscles in the hands working while we're still having fun. My first idea was to get a spray bottle, and this one is filled with water, and the kids can water the plants. Maybe they can have a different job. Every day is a different day depending on how many kids you have in your house, but this would be a great preschool activity or a kindergarten activity, preschool and up. If you wanted to go outside, you could spray the sidewalk or you could spray the wall, and you can see how the water would shoot on there, and maybe you can make shapes or you can make letters with this simple spray bottle. And again, it just works on strengthening that tripod grasp, the fingers that we use for the holding a pencil. That's one idea. Another idea is I took this tennis ball and a steak knife and I slit right into it, making, I don't know, about an inch and a half slit into the tennis ball. And so now I have an opening for the tennis ball. And I can put all kinds of things in there. I have some coins and I have a cap. It's going to be harder because it's a little bit bigger. And I have a key. You see how it goes. So this is my dominant hand. If I want to work on, maybe the dominant hand will feed and then the non-dominant hand will take the items out, however you want to work that out. So again, we're just squeezing, opening the mouth, and feeding our little guy. So that's one idea. Another idea, I have a nut and a bolt. You can work on the bilateral coordination, the dexterity, and the strengthening. Some are bigger than others, but it will also work depending on how tight you make it. It'll work on those fine motor skills and strength, finger strength. Another idea for a strengthening activity is I have a cotton ball, and I am going to take one of these old school water bottles. You can maybe save a ketchup bottle or a dressing container, salad dressing container, and make it into a squeeze bottle. So I'm just going to squeeze and it's going to move. If you have more than one kid at home, you can maybe have a race to see who can get the cotton ball across the table first, or if one kid is on one side of the table and the other kid is on the other, you can be working together to try and keep the cotton ball from not coming past your side. So that's another idea. I also have an old school little nose sucker, and it will work on that, again, the same grasp that we're using, the same fingers that we're using for the pencil, we're using to squeeze this. Now those cotton balls are a little bit too big, so if you just take the cotton ball and pull, again, working on fine motor, working on strength, working on bilateral coordination. Now we can use the smaller cotton ball to get that across the table. Okay? Another idea I have some bowl clips here. I have kind of a medium-sized one and a small one. Working on that strengthening, you can put it on your clothes, you can put it on a piece of paper, you can see how many pieces of paper you can clip on with this. If we're put it on our clothes, we can also work on that crossing midline, where this is the middle of our body, and it's important that we're able to use our dominant side to go across our middle to get an object. So that's another idea. I have these clothespins, different colored clothespins. You can put them again on your clothing, or you can put them on a piece of paper like so. You can maybe make an activity for your older kid where the red clips go on the T's and the white clips go on the L's, so that they can work on some letter discrimination that way. And I think I said white clips on the L's, something like that. And then last but not least, I have the old school ants in the pants game. You don't need to use the pants to put the ants to have the ants jump in. You can just use the ants and get that finger isolation and jump. You can have a race to see whose ants jumped further. You can maybe make a container or a larger container. You can put them in a different position. If they were on their hands and knees, they would be working on that shoulder girdle stability. So have fun, change it up, see how many different ways you can play with these activities. Oh, wait, one more. I forgot glue. Glue, standard great strengthening activity to do crafts. So we're gonna squeeze really hard to get that glue out. And I like it in the container because it's super hard when you have to squeeze it out. Just remember when you're doing crafty kinds of things that it's the process, not the product, that we're worried about. That we don't care if the flower looks exactly like a flower. We're just happy that they're engaged, using the strong fine motor skills and having fun. Again, hope you have some great ways that you can adapt this for your own home. Be safe, have fun, and wash your hands.